మరి ఇప్పుడు ఒక అందం పూర్తయింది. ఈరోజు ఈ అందగత్తె మిస్ అమెరికా కిరీటాన్ని అందుకుని మనందరినీ కూడా చాలా గర్వపడేలా చేసినటువంటి సందర్భం. తన విజయాన్ని మనందరం కూడా, అంటే ఇది మా సాధారణ విజయం కాదు అని మనం అందరం గుర్తిద్దాం. ఎందుకంటే ఈ దేశంలో ఈ నేలపై అందానికి ఉన్న నిర్వచనం వేరు, ఇక్కడ అందాన్ని చూసే కొలమానం వేరు. అన్ని కొలమానాల్ని దాటి మన తెలుగు అమ్మాయి ఈ కిరీటాన్ని అందుకోవాలంటే ఓ కొత్త కొలమానం రాసింది అంటాను నేను. దానికి అమ్మాయిని అభినందిస్తూ, అలాగే ఈ దేశంలో ఇప్పటి వరకు రాజకీయాల్లో మహిళల శాతం కనుక కొలుచుకుంటే ప్రపంచ దేశాల్లో ఏ ఇతర దేశాల్లోనూ కూడా లేనంత తక్కువగా ఉంది అని అంటూ ఉంటారు. అలాంటి ఈ దేశపు రాజకీయ పరిస్థితుల్లో ఒక వ్యక్తి, ఒక సంచలనంలాగా ఒక తెలుగు బిడ్డ రాజకీయాల్లోకి ప్రవేశించింది. ఆవిడే అరుణ మిల్లర్ గారు. ఆవిడ్ని పరిచయం చేయడానికి వేదిక మీదకి హిమబిందుని రావాల్సిందిగా కోరుతున్నాను. అరుణ మిల్లర్ గారి పరిచయం.
Firstly, I would like to extend a warm welcome to all of you and a very happy Women's Day to all the beautiful women present here today. It gives me immense pleasure to have Mrs. Aruna Miller, member of House of Delegates, State of Maryland, here amongst all of us today. In 2011, Mrs. Miller was the first Indian American woman elected to serve in the Maryland House of Delegates, and in doing so became the first Telugu woman in the nation to be elected to the state legislature. She represents 125,000 residents in Montgomery County, Maryland, which borders the nation's capital and is one of the most affluent, educated, and politically charged regions in the country. In 2013, Delegate Miller was one of 10 Maryland lawmakers named to the Maryland Business Climate Work Group. So ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together and invite Mrs. Aruna Miller to have a say few words for us here today. Thank you.
అరుణ గారు వేదిక మీదకి విచ్చేశారు. అరుణ మిల్లర్ కాట్రగడ్డ వారికి తానా సత్కారం అందించాల్సిందిగా శ్రీ మోహన్ నానపనేని గారిని, లక్ష్మీ దేవినేని గారిని, నీనా దావులూరి గారిని వేదిక మీదకి ఆహ్వానిస్తున్నాం. చప్పట్లు లేకపోతే ఎంత గొప్ప సన్మానమైనా చప్పగా ఉంటుంది. వీరు సాధించినది అత్యద్భుతమైన విజయం కాబట్టి ఈరోజు మీరు అక్కడి నుంచి ఇవ్వగలిగింది చప్పట్లు మాత్రమే.
Namaskaram. It is a great honor to be here today on Women's International Day. But I got to tell you, I believe women belong in the House and the Senate. So good evening. My name is Aruna Miller, and I do belong in the House. I belong in the Maryland House of Delegates. It is a great honor to be here, and I want to first recognize and thank Dr. Mohan Nanapani, President of TANA. Thank you. I also want to recognize Lakshmi Devi for her leadership. I want to recognize also all the artists, the dignitaries, and each of you who are here today to celebrate this day. You know, despite that it's the 21st century, and women are the 51% minority when it comes to social, economic, and legal rights. And we need to change this. In the United States, despite the fact that women represent over 51% of the population, we only represent about 18% of the US elected offices. And in the state legislature, there's over 7,700 positions in the United States, and we only represent 24% of that. And in my own state of Maryland, women represent about 33% of elected office positions. We need to change this, ladies. We are the 51% minority. And to me, we haven't reached democracy until 51% of the elected body in the United States is represented by women. And you know what? To make that happen, it takes each and every one of you to make it happen. It takes you being engaged, it takes you caring about what's happening, and it takes you getting out and voting. When I meet Manalto, many times I talk to them and they tell me that they're not interested in politics. It's boring. You know what? I tell them, you may not be interested in politics, but politics is very much interested in you. Because politics makes decisions that are going to affect your life each and every day, whether you're interested or not. From the time when you wake up in the morning and you're breathing in the clean air, to the water that you're drinking to make sure there's no toxins in it, from immigration to whether or not women receive gender equality in the workplace and everywhere, and even something as profound and global as whether or not our country is at peace or at war. So this is why you need to be interested in politics. When I first ran in 2010, an individual asked me, "What's a nice girl like you doing in the business of politics?" And I told him, if you ask my 3 daughters, I don't think they would say that I'm all that nice. And 2, the business of politics is everyone's business. We need to be engaged. Indian Americans have become a model minority in this country. We have become entrepreneurs, we're affluent, we're successful, but the one area that we haven't is in politics. Indian Americans represent less than 1% of the US population, but yet we are overrepresented in the areas of the IT industry. We are 8% of the physicians in this country. We are 7% of the engineers in this country. Those are things that we should be very proud of. And you know what? Another statistic, 1 in every 9 Indian Americans in this country is a millionaire. So look around. You may be sitting next to one or one in the making. So we should be very, very proud of this. But again, when it comes to the political arena, we are so underrepresented. In US Congress, of the 535 positions, there's only 1 Indian American, Congressman Ami Bear. And across the legislature across the states, we have less than 15 Indian Americans that are representatives. So again, we need to get more involved. So how do we get more involved? The first thing I tell people is register to vote. You know, the power of vote is your voice in who your elected officials are, who make the decisions for you every single day from policy perspective. And when you register to vote, please get past this notion you have to register with a party. As much as you want to be independent, you can continue to be independent. But if you don't register with a party, you leave yourself out of a critical part of the election process. As you know, in this country, it's basically dominated by 2 political parties, the Democratic Party and that other party. So I would strongly suggest that you register with hopefully a Democratic Party. Here's why. Because you don't want to wake up on November election day wondering, who the heck is this, person that's representing my party? I don't like this person. Well, if you didn't register with the party, you don't get to vote in the primary that gets to determine that individual. So that's why it's critical that you register with a party. Then go and vote. So many people think that their vote doesn't matter. I don't think, Al Gore would have agreed with you in 2000 when he lost an election by a very slim margin. So please take the time and go vote. People have marched for and died for in this country to give you the ability to vote. And shame on us if we don't take advantage of this. And finally, If you want to bring about a change in this country, not only do you go and vote, never leave yourself out of the process of considering yourself to run for political office one day. Absolutely. When I came to this country, Ninu, Indiala puttanu in Hyderabad, ఈ దేశంకి వచ్చినప్పుడు 1972 నాకు ఒక్క మాట కూడా తెలీదు ఇంగ్లీషు, అంతా ఇక్కడ నేర్చుకున్నాను. ఇప్పుడు ఈరోజు నేను when I think about it, I cannot believe ఈ కంట్రీకి వచ్చి ఇట్లా జరిగి I'm able to represent the people of my great state of Maryland. This is what America is, full of dreams and opportunities, and they're open for every one of you, and especially our youth. I tell you to our youth, you need to get engaged, you need to become active. And for those of you who are maybe in high school, I suggest that you go ahead and run for student government. What a great way to get your feet wet a little and get used to politics. Get yourself engaged. If there's no political party in your school, start a club. Get people active. And a great way to learn a lot about politics is to go ahead and try to volunteer, either with an elected official's campaign or even with a special interest group. One other thing I want to remind people is that we get very excited when the presidential election comes, but the truth of the matter is, the people who have the greatest impact on our lives, it's not at the national level, it's at the state and local level. So that's where it all happens. Your state representatives, your county representatives, the mayors, the Board of Education. These are the folks who have the greatest influence on your daily life. And these are the people that you should get to know. Find out who they are. Tell them that you want to go volunteer for them. You get to find out at the grassroots level what campaigning is all about. That's how I got started. I was very disappointed in the way the country was leading in 2000. And remember, if you're not part of the solution, then you're part of the problem. So I wanted to be part of the solution. So I said, I want to go volunteer, and I did. I started volunteering with the Democratic Party, and one thing led to another. So I believe that if your heart is in the right place, opportunities open up for you, and you will be able to bring about the change that you're looking for. To the young people and to everyone in this room, I say, there's really 3 types of people in the world. Those who make things happen, those who watch things happen, and those who wonder what happened. I think you know where you want to be. You want to be those that make things happen. Thank you very much. It's been a great honor. Thank you. Thank you.
You are amazing. మీరు నిజంగా మహిళలందరికీ స్ఫూర్తి. ఇలాంటి వాళ్ళు సాధించిన విజయాలే మరింత మంది మహిళలు మరిన్ని విజయాలు సాధించడానికి స్ఫూర్తి కావాలని కోరుకుంటూ